What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and it is that time of the month once again. It is time for the end of month tier list, the performance tier list, where we take an average of all our player ratings over the course of the month, stemming from Newcastle away all the way to Manchester United away. A very mixed bag. Obviously, we started off with 2 losses, and we've won 4 in a row now. And the way the tier list works, it goes from can't judge. If you've played less than 45 minutes, you go into can't judge. Awful is from 0 to 4.9. Not good is from 5 to 5.9. Okay is 6 to 6.4. Good is 6.5 to 6.9. Very good is 7 to 7.4. And 7.5 plus goes into excellent. And then the best rated player will go into player of the month. So very much looking forward to this one. And the first player we're going to look into is Ben Davies.
Ben Davies, first one. So he played has an average.
He played 90 minutes at Coventry and 90 minutes in Qarabağ.
Yeah. He got a 6.5 overall.
6.5. So he goes into good. And I think that's fairly accurate for Ben Davies. I feel like in the Coventry game, it was very much a mixed bag from him. I thought there was some really good stuff in there, some poor stuff in there as well.
We nearly went out because of him, but he also saved us.
Exactly. And then in the Qarabağ game, I thought he played really well. So yeah, I think good is a fair reflection of how he's been this month. Next up, we are going to look at Radu Dragusin. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be good for him. I think he's going to go into awful,
4.9.
I'm surprised he got that high, to be honest, because I gave him a 1 after the Qarabağ game. You gave him a 2.
Yeah, but he got a 7 against. I gave him a 7. I gave him an 8. You gave him a 7 against Newcastle. Coventry, I gave him a 4. You gave him a 5. Man United, it was.
We didn't give him a rating.
We didn't give him. We should have.
Yeah, he only played 10 minutes though.
Okay. Well, 4.9 anyway. Still
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel for him because obviously he'll get marked down harshly for that red card against Qarabağ. But
and so he should.
He made that mistake and he got sent off and he nearly cost us the game. But thankfully we turned it around. But he did have a good game against Newcastle. Coventry wasn't very good. Man United, but he played 10 minutes. It was all right against Man United. So I'm sure there'll be more good performances to come. But unfortunately, it wasn't a great month for him. Yeah,
so Radu goes into awful, unfortunately for him. Next up, the next player we're going to look at is Pape Matar Sarr. He did start against, I think he started against Qarabağ and against Coventry. He's had cameo appearances since then, which I think it's been gradually getting better for Pape throughout the month.
Wasn't good against Coventry.
No. 23 minutes against Arsenal, 90 against Coventry, 21 against Brentford, 19 against Qarabağ, and 15 minutes against Manchester United. I'm going to say he goes into okay.
6.3.
Yeah, so he goes into okay.
Yeah, and I think he has been okay. Obviously got the assist against United off the bench. I think he played a good game against Qarabağ, so his performances have been getting better as the season goes on, but yeah, hasn't been the best start to the season so far for him.
Next up, we're going to look at Jed Spence. Obviously, can't play in Europe. Did play a second half against Coventry, or he came on...
Second half against Coventry and second half against Man United.
Yeah, which I think he did really well in both those games.
7.3.
Yeah, well deserved. So he goes into very good.
Nice month for Jed Spence.
And again, makes a mockery out of that decision. Why leave him out of Europe? It just makes no sense whatsoever. Next one, who always finds himself at the top of these tier lists, is Mickey van der Ven.
Mickey van der Ven, and he's going to be there again because he's averaged an 8.
8, wow. That might be one of his best ever, best yet.
That's a very, very good rate, good rating.
It's not a very good rating, it's an excellent rating. He goes into excellent, Mickey van der Ven.
Didn't play against Newcastle, didn't play against Coventry, so 2 defeats he was out, but we gave him an 8 against Arsenal. You gave him a 6 against Brentford, I gave him an 8, and a 9 against Qarabağ and a 9 against Man United. So extremely impressive month for Mickey.
I don't know if we've ever given anyone like an average rating of 8 over the course of a month, and especially as there's so many games in this month as well. I think
it might be the second time we've done it for Van der Ven.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's unbelievably consistent, and obviously that run against Man United topped it off.
What a player we have now. This guy is a Rolls Royce and he is a gem. And we're so lucky to have him. Next up is Destiny Udogie. Started Arsenal game, played 90 minutes, 46 minutes against Coventry, going off at half-time, 90 minutes against Brentford, 79 against Qarabağ, and again, 45 minutes against Manchester United. And I think he's been brilliant in pretty much all the games this month.
Obviously Newcastle as well involved.
I think he might go into excellent.
Doesn't quite make it, 7.1. You gave him 2 5s against Arsenal and Newcastle, which set him back. But he did get a 7 and then 3 8s in a row. So he has had a pretty solid month. It's fair to say. I think he's been pretty good, but unfortunately doesn't quite make it into excellent.
Again, he has been pretty good.
6.8.
Pardon?
You cost him.
I cost him.
Yeah.
To be fair,
6.8.
Yeah. To be fair, at the beginning of the month, I thought he wasn't as good as he has been since getting back to full fitness. Since he's hit that full fitness, he's been brilliant. But he still goes very good.
Yeah, very good for Destiny Udogie.
Next up is James Maddison. He's again, I think he's had a very good month. Arsenal, he played 80 minutes. I don't think it was a good display against Arsenal. He played well when he came on against Coventry for the last half an hour. Played very well against Brentford and played well against Manchester United as well. 88 and 77 minutes. So I think he's probably going to go into very good as well.
7.1.
Yeah, 7.1. He goes into very good.
2 9s in his last 2 games against Brentford and Man United. Got a 7 at Coventry, 5 at Arsenal, let him down a bit, maybe cost him an excellent.
All right, so Maddison goes into very good. Next up is Archie Gray, which will be an interesting one. 90 minutes against Coventry and Qarabağ, 3 minutes against Brentford, which I don't think we rated him for. So he's just getting rated here on his games against Qarabağ and against Coventry. I think rated him quite highly against Qarabağ because I thought he had a really good game. Coventry, it was a bit of a mixed bag from him. I think maybe he goes into good.
I gave him 6.3.
He goes into okay, actually.
6.3.
So the same rating as Pape Matar. Do you think that's fair for Archie?
Bit harsh, I would say. I think even against Coventry, I thought on the ball he was decent, but I guess he hasn't been outstanding. But he's been good. I haven't been unhappy with him, but I guess Sar's also been improving, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. It is only 2 games, to be fair.
Yeah, it is only 2 games.
Next up, we are going to look at Pedro Porro, another one who I think's had a good month. Started against Arsenal, Newcastle, played 90 minutes, didn't play against Coventry, didn't play against Qarabağ, but then played 88 minutes against Brentford and 90 minutes against Manchester United. I would assume he goes into good or very good.
6.6.
Goes into good.
Yeah. I think he's definitely gotten better as the month has gone on as well. But I think he's been pretty consistently solid, to be honest. I thought definitely United was his best performance of the month, that's for sure.
Next up is Brennan Johnson, which is going to be a very interesting one because he started off the month really poor against Arsenal, poor against Coventry, but he got the winner right at the end of it. And then he's been really good since then, where scored against Brentford and played very well, scored against Qarabağ, only played a half but played very well, and scored against Manchester United and played very well. So I think the first 2 games of the month is going to let him down a little bit, but I'll probably say he goes into good as well.
6.8.
6.8, yeah. Just below very good.
I cost him the very good this time. I averaged him a 6.5. You averaged him a 7.2. So quite a big difference in the average ratings of Brennan. You've given him 2 8s and a 9, and I gave him 2 7s and an 8. So I marked him down a bit. You were very complimentary of his performances.
Yeah, so Brennan, don't blame me this time. Don't blame me.
Also, I gave him a 3 against Arsenal. You gave him a 4, so I was a bit harsher on him as well.
Fair play. Look, he wasn't very good against Arsenal, let's be real. But again, another one who's just been growing throughout the month. Next up, we are going to look at Rodrigo Bentancur. Again, I think another one with Rodrigo. He's definitely been growing throughout the month. 68 minutes against Arsenal, 90 minutes against Coventry, 63 minutes against Brentford, 20 minutes against Qarabağ, and 90 minutes against Manchester United. My guess probably goes into good, I would say.
6.5.
Just about. Bloody hell. Just about.
Good. You gave him a 6.3. I gave him a 6.8 in this one. So, again, another player who, as the month has been going on, he's been getting better and better. I don't think he was amazing against Arsenal, although I don't think he was terrible. I thought Brentford and Man United, he's been excellent past 2 Premier League games. So I think there are definitely signs of him really getting back to those levels, hopefully.
Next up, we're going to go to the captain, Son Heung-min. 90 minutes in Arsenal, 90 minutes Brentford, 70 minutes against Qarabağ, and half an hour against Coventry. I'll probably say he goes into okay, to be honest.
6.5.
Oh, just about sneaks into good. Exactly the same as Rodrigo Bentancur.
Yeah. I thought, obviously Brentford, I thought he was brilliant. We both gave him 8s. But Qarabağ, we were down to 10 men for a lot, but he obviously did get an assist in that one. Coventry came on, didn't do much. Arsenal struggled to make an impact. So I gave him a 6.6. You gave him a 6.4. So in the middle, 6.5. It does go into good.
Big Dom Solanke up next. And he started every game this month, apart from the Newcastle game when he was out injured. He played over 85 minutes in all of them, apart from Coventry when he went off on the hour mark. I think he goes into very good, or maybe even excellent. Nah, probably very good.
6.7.
6.7. Only good. Why? What rating let him down? The Arsenal one?
Well, 5 against Arsenal and a 4 against Coventry, unfortunately lets him down. But then he gets a 7 against Brentford, an 8 against Qarabağ. Sorry, 9 against Qarabağ and an 8 against Man United.
Well, that's classic. It's kind of a theme, isn't it, with this tier list? A poor start to the month and an unbelievable end to the month.
They all count.
Yeah.
They all count. So, look, he has been good. Maybe a bit harsh not to be at least very good, because I've been really impressed with him. But... unfortunately, those 2 games when he's come back from injury, we marked him down for.
Cuti Romero. What did Cuti Romero do? Obviously, he didn't play against Qarabağ because he was suspended for that game. He played every other... He didn't play against Coventry either, but he played 90 minutes in every other game.
Against Newcastle and Arsenal, costing us. But then did improve.
I would say he goes... I think he might go down to okay,
6.4.
Yeah, okay.
Just misses out on good. Well, don't make mistakes, Romero, and you won't be an okay. To be fair, I think against Man United, it was brilliant. Against Brentford, really, really good. Against Arsenal, despite that, apart from that mistake, I thought it was pretty good. But those 2 mistakes he made cost us probably 4 points, you might say, or at least 2 points. So, he gets marked down for that. But definitely, I think his performances are getting back to the levels that we know he can reach for sure. He's not making... Last couple of games anyway, he's been pretty good.
Yeah. Vicario, the goalkeeper, up next, played in every game apart from the Coventry game. Against Arsenal, he came under criticism for the corner. Against Brentford, obviously he played very well, but there were still those few mishaps in there that might have cost him an unbelievable rating in that game. But Man United, I thought he was brilliant. Qarabağ, I thought he played very well when we were down to 10 men in the sweeping job that he did do. Against Newcastle, I can't remember if we rated him good or bad for that game. He
didn't have too much to do, did he? Newcastle game.
Did let in 2 goals though, but no fault of his own. I would say he goes into good or maybe the lower end of very good.
Yep, 7.0, so very good.
Yeah, very good.
Sneaks in there. Pretty good month for Vicario, consistently solid. Obviously a couple of scary moments, especially against Brentford. But I think overall he's actually been pretty consistently good for all people, saying they're worried about him or whatever.
Yeah. Next up is Timo Werner.
Oh dear.
Timo, I'm sure this is going to be probably the lowest rated player of the month. Newcastle, 20 minutes at the end. Arsenal, 10 minutes at the end. Coventry, 75 minutes. Qarabağ, 20 minutes. Man United, 77 minutes. So I would say Man United, we definitely rated him the highest out of them all, which was his first start in the Premier League. The other ratings, I think we probably must have given below 5s in all of them. So I would say he goes into awful or maybe sneaks into not good.
4.0.
Wow. Wow, that is bad.
You rated him a 4.3. I rated him a 3.8. So very, very low. One of the lowest months I think we've ever had on this channel from Timo.
I think that's probably the lowest.
Yeah, thank God for him that he had a 7 against United, because that would have been probably the first time someone's averaged below a 3 from playing multiple games. But look, signs of improvement, I guess, against United, despite the fact he missed some absolute sitters. But yeah, I think his cameos, especially the Coventry game, was a real low point for him. And maybe it was a turning point. Let's see.
To be fair, though, I mean, not to be fair. I mean, when you talk about Timo and his performance against Manchester United, if we wouldn't have won that game convincingly, or if we wouldn't have won that game, he would be down there in the threes because we wouldn't have been so kind to him.
Probably. But he was also part of the reason why we won, so got to give him credit for that.
Next up is Deki. Dejan Kulusevski played part in every game this month, started all the Premier League games, 45 minutes against Karabag, 20 minutes against Coventry, and surely he goes into excellent. He's been brilliant.
7.6.
I gave him a 10.
You did.
7.6. Yeah, he goes into excellent.
7.6. A very, very good month, a very good season so far as well, yeah. So even against Newcastle, he got a 7. Against Arsenal, he got a 7 in our 2 worst games. So even in the bad games we didn't win, he did well. 8 against Coventry when he came on, changed the game. 2 7s against Brentford and Karabag. And then Man United, you gave him a 10, I gave him a 9. So really strong month again from Deki, and right at the upper echelons of the month.
Next up, we are going to go to Yves Bissouma. 82 minutes against Newcastle, injured against Arsenal and Coventry, half an hour against Brentford, 70 minutes against Karabag. I think he's had a fairly good month, to be fair, so I'd say very good, maybe.
Yeah, averaging a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bissouma's been very good. He's like I keep saying, you know, I've been heavily critical of Yves Bissouma, but since the balloon gate and Ange saying he needs more from him and, you know, he needs to re-earn the trust, I think he's doing that.
It's 3 games and literally 3 7s. So there you go. Pretty consistent and pretty solid month for Yves.
Lucas Bergvall. Obviously, he was taken off very early in the Karabag game, which was no fault of his own. Apart from that, it's been just 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes against Newcastle, 60 minutes against Coventry, 3 minutes against Brentford, 12 minutes against Karabag, and 14 minutes against Manchester United. And I think for the most part, he's been really good. I'll probably say he goes into good.
6.7.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Lucas
Some good solid
Bergvall.
cameos. I thought the only substantial minutes against Coventry, he was kind of a shining light in a sea of absolute shite. So I think, and obviously came on, got an assist against Man United as well. So I think he's been pretty decent in his cameos, actually.
Fraser Forster, 1 game played, so he does get rated and he does get ranked. The 1 game was against Coventry, which he was pretty dreadful, and I think this is probably going to be our lowest ever monthly ranking, and he's going to go straight into awful.
Yeah, 3.0, 2, 3, both gave him a 3. It's 1 game, but yeah,
and he was probably lucky to get that. Well, he did make some good saves, to be fair, so that's why he got it.
That's why he got a 3. Yeah. Exactly. Because otherwise he was just, you know, he's flapping at things. He gave the ball away in the first minute. He gave them an open goal, which Davis had to slide and save our skin. Yeah, he just wasn't very good. So 3 we both gave him, and that's what he goes into for the month.
All right, next up is Mikey Moore. Hasn't played 45 minutes, so can't really judge him. 3 minutes against Brentford, 7 minutes against Karabag, and 15 minutes against Manchester United. So we're going to put him in can't judge, but out of interest, what has he got?
Well, we did rate him 1 of them, and that was Man United, so that would have been 7. We both gave him 7s against Man United, so would have gone into, if we were judging him, it would have gone into very good, I think, isn't it?
Fair. And last but not least is Wilson Odobert. Went off injured early stages of the Coventry game where he played the best part of 20 minutes. Arsenal, he came on for the last 23 minutes. Newcastle played 75 minutes. Was Newcastle his debut? No, Everton was his debut. I think Wilson Odobert is going to go into okay.
5.3.
Oh, not good. Wow, our first not good entry for Wilson Odobert.
Oh, wait. Did I do this wrong? 1 sec. No, I did it wrong. 1 sec. I think he still goes into not good, but let me just edit this quickly. I didn't do that one right. Actually, he goes into 5.8. Still not good. It improved a bit with the Newcastle game, but
so Wilson Odobert goes into not good, and
7 against Newcastle, then 2 5s against Arsenal and Coventry. But obviously, Coventry went off early, so it's a bit harsh. Arsenal, he only had a bit of a cameo, but he didn't really do much, did he? So 5.8.
So in terms of our player of the month, who is it? Is it Van der Ven or Dejan Kulusevski?
The player of the month is Mickey Van der Ven.
Once again, it feels like every single month it's Mickey Van der Ven.
Consistently, just excellent. 2 9s and 8, just imperious at the back. He got that amazing run against Man United. Was very important to our wins against Karabag with 10 men. He literally was a one-man show at points in that game. Brentford, I thought he played really well. Even the Arsenal game, he was probably one of our best players on the day. Didn't play against Newcastle, and Coventry are probably our 2 bad performances of the month. So, a really great month for Mickey van der Ven. Kulusevski really unlucky to miss out on this one, but I'm sure he'll be there next month.
Yeah, I don't know. With the way Mickey van der Ven's playing, it's hard for anyone to get a higher average rating than him. That's how good he is. The guy is, like I keep saying, Rolls-Royce, elite player, lucky to have him, and it just seems as though every single month he's at the top of this list.
So let's look at the list again. Just overall, I think it's all pretty fair, to be honest.
Yeah, so Mikey Moore can't judge fair. Timo Werner, Radu Dragushin, and Fraser Forster in awful, which is fair.
That's pretty fair.
Odebear in not good. I think
slightly harsh, maybe.
I don't know if it is, because he had his probably best performance in his opening game, which was Everton, which was last month or the month before. The other games, I mean, he's been.
He was off early, so we game of 5, but don't know if he deserved it. And then Arsenal, he only had 15 minutes, but could have done a bit more, I guess. But Arsenal were, very good.
He started the Newcastle game as well.
Yeah, which we gave him a 7.
Wait, go back onto it. And then in OK, you've got, who's that? Pape.
Sarr, Gray, and Romero.
Yeah, Sarr, Gray, and Romero. Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. In good, who have you got there?
Ben Davis, Porro, Johnson, Bentancur, Son, Solanke, and Bergval.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And
I think maybe a bit harsh on Solanke, could have been bumped up 1.
Yeah.
Maybe Johnson as well.
To be honest, like
mainly Solanke.
Solanke, I think does deserve to be in very good. I think he's been brilliant for us this month.
Yeah, I think Solanke's a bit harsh. I think all the other ones. I think Johnson.
I think it's fair for Johnson.
I think it's probably fair for Johnson, even though he's got 4 and 4. But I think Solanke's overall game has been a lot better.
And very good. You've got Jed, you've got Destiny, you've got Madison, you've got Vicario, and you've got Bissouma.
Yep, that's very good.
And excellent, you've got Kulusevski, and then player of the month is Mickey van der Ven.
There you go.
So let us know what your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with these rankings? Does it make a fair representation of how good those players have been? And it's nice to see that, the majority of our players are on the upper echelons of the tier list.
It's always good when it's top heavy, so that's positive. Let's hope it carries on.
Yeah, you couldn't say the same a lot for the last 6 months of last season,
no,
to be fair.
Not.
But yeah, it shows a sign that things are looking positive for Spurs. Hopefully by this time next month we'll be sitting here with even more players in the excellence and the very goods. But look, that is it for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding the tier list. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.